Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4 hour. This is pretty much what we were looking for yesterday. Obviously we did an absolutely fantabulous job of breaking straight above this resistance level. Came into and tapped our upper side, our basically next resistance level, this 38 to 39,000. Hit it on a 4 hour 9 as well. As you can see, this price flipped to a 1, but it was a 4 hour 9 whilst it was trading up here. So yeah, ticked to a 4 hour 9 and then had a pullback into, which is what we were kind of looking at, as not obviously straight up would have been great, but just as a realistic ideal scenario, a pullback into our old support around the $35,000 level. Nice to see it getting basically supported at the higher end of that, and then yeah, looking to bounce off there, and then potentially push our way fully and formally through this $39,000 level. So yes, not looking too bad at the moment. Obviously, if we do lose 35,000, things will definitely start to look pretty dire, because it will be a fourth lower high, and also, I mean, we will be gunning for taking out this low, and then obviously if we come down and test 30k, I mean, well, we'd have every chance of breaking down from there. But yeah, as it stands, as we were saying yesterday, basically, if we can hold this 36k level, then we should be looking good. And then if we can get back above here, come and test into the 40,000s, potentially base around the 38, 39, and then look to break above. That would be the realistic ideal bullish scenario. But yeah, as it stands at the moment, we have had a basically pull up to the middle of our higher half of this a wider range. And yeah, looking to obviously coming back up, try and take out yesterday's high and try and find our way back up to basically the 40Ks. So not much else to say on Bitcoin there, other than yeah, looking constructive. It is looking constructive. So yeah, that's all we can really say there. What is potentially not looking so constructive though is this Ethereum Bitcoin chart. It is absolutely, well, I say absolutely is a bit maybe hyperbolic, but it has fallen out of bed here, and it is coming down. Well, firstly to this our ascending trend line at the top of the channel, and then also we've got this horizontal, so it does kind of need to sort itself out. As we can see, Bitcoin has well, I say taking the reins. It's not like it's exactly done anything crazy, but yeah, in its move up, it has been bleeding dry, these altcoins, and particularly Ethereum. So yes, not the best sign. You don't necessarily want to see the alts bleeding out as Bitcoin's moving up, because I mean, then it basically we could end up with then the funds then moving out of Bitcoin completely. That is the path. Altcoins into Bitcoin, Bitcoins into fiat, and obviously with Bitcoin means Bitcoin goes down, but that's not necessarily what's happening. We could just be gearing up for a move where Ethereum, to be honest, Ethereum has really done really well for a long time now, and you can see it's still potentially could be consolidating within obviously this high and this low. So nothing too bad at the moment. But yeah, I mean, we could just be seeing Bitcoin is gonna have a nice move up, and you could look at it the other way. So that is that is what we are looking at there. If we look at the USD, USD is not looking so bad. Because obviously it is relatively holding where it is within this range, but obviously the problem is Bitcoin has been going up and not been dragging it up with it. Dollar index, as you can see, still basically within this range. Still just barely clinging on at the moment to a 90 handle, but yeah, we are waiting for a move for this. Stock markets had a very nice day, moving up nicely. As you can see, Nasdaq as well. Nasdaq, which is the one that if you were going to say was most closely correlated to Bitcoin as an inverted commas tech stock, is doing very nicely as well. And the 10-year coming down a little bit also, coming down, well, I say a little bit below our level now. So this could start to have an impact on the market. But yeah, all in all, Bitcoin is looking like it could potentially well be setting up for a move. It looks like it could be setting up for a move. Oh, sorry, just over to Bitcoin dominance as well. It just shows us the same thing. Bitcoin dominance heading back up to this horizontal here. I expect we would get a bit of a sell-off here, but if we do, then we pull back and then break back above the here. If we do in fact get rejected here, then yeah, I mean, we will have targets higher obviously than this high here. And yeah, potentially even be looking for this trend line. So maybe that will coincide with Bitcoin taking a decent leg up. If Bitcoin basically plays out this, I wouldn't necessarily, well, yeah, we'd call it a bull trap. It doesn't necessarily have to fully trap us and come and take out these lows. But if Bitcoin does make an epic move above 42 and then accelerates in towards the 50Ks, then yeah, altcoins are going to get absolutely left in the dust. But then when Bitcoin then starts to cool off and maybe trade sideways within this range, that is when we will probably see the next basically mini alt season with a leg down in Bitcoin dominance, etc. But Bitcoin dominance at that point maybe back up around 50%. So definitely maybe time to be thinking about obviously what we would do in that case. So yeah, other than that, stochastics, we'll have a look at stochastics, which on the basis that we are holding up here nicely is going to be feeding through to these higher time frames, which is what we want to see, to get this market, basically on the mend, to use a technical term. But yeah, 4 hours just look like it could very easily bullishly reset though if we do hold this 35-36k level as the 4 hour comes down. Our daily weight for the 10 hour should still be looking, as I say, should still be looking pretty good. Yeah, looking pretty good. Had a run all the way up. Still got room to run, but yeah, all the way up. 12 hour looking very good here, back into the bullish half, looking good, plenty of room to run. Daily turning back up, got plenty of room to run, not really got going yet. Obviously, if it does get going, gets us towards 38-39k, I mean, like I said, it's gonna be good for at least holding us around that 40k level, where we decide if we can get these higher time frames to kind of bust us through and into potentially towards 50k. 2-day turning back up, 3-day there or thereabouts. The higher time frames, we know, just doing their thing, but all I would say is that they're all basically pretty low. So there is obviously potential for them to get going and get a very nice pullback, which could or could not lead to all-time highs. We could basically get a nice move to around this zone, around this basically 46 to 52, and then get a pullback into potentially 40. 40, maybe even some wicks below, and then base off there, and try and mount an attempt for all-time highs. That would, if that did play out like that, look very normal and aesthetically pleasing chart-wise. It would be very typical price action that you would expect to see. And that could potentially be what's happening. We have got to keep an eye on it basically though, below this 35, because obviously we do not want to be basically coming and testing around 30k again, because I mean, there is only so much buying up from these lows that can go on before funds run out, and then at which case that just turns to dumping, and then we could very easily capitulate below 30k. So we want to be as well away from that as we can. Again, just look at the wider range that we're in, this upside and this downside. Basically, I expect we could very likely trade sideways within here for a while. We just want that sideways to be in this top half, and before eventually potentially break into the upside. But that will be the next big trending move, I think, of Bitcoin, is breaking above obviously here. I mean, it goes without saying, we've been talking this for a while, but yeah, below 30k or above 42, I think everybody's pretty much everybody is on the same page with that one. So yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you for listening. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.